Hello everyone, a very good afternoon to one and all. So welcome back, which is like day 5 of Salesforce functional training. So I hope you learned something of all the 4 days, and it's like yeah, we are still having like 2 more days. Yeah, and I think many questions that will get the certificate. Of course, based on your attendance and everything, will get the certificate. So no worry about it. And yeah, Abhilash, you can start the session.
Okay, thanks, Haripriya. Hello, guys. Good evening. Okay, so let's start the session. And I hope all of you guys attended yesterday's session and you understand how to create the users and how to create the role hierarchy and how to create the profiles permissions. Okay, so today's session, so we can discuss about how to set up the custom applications and custom objects, custom tabs, and different types of concepts. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so yesterday we completed this Salesforce user administration part 1 and part 2, and we discussed about all these concepts. And today we can start the discussion on Salesforce automation part 1. And as part of this class, we can discuss how to build the custom applications and how to build the custom objects and custom tabs. Okay, this is very important topic for the Salesforce administrators as well as developers. Okay, because so far we discussed about the standard components. Okay, so let me log in into Salesforce, and once we log in into Salesforce, we can see all standard components, standard objects, standard tabs, standard fields, everything standard. Standard means created by Salesforce or implemented by Salesforce. So here, if you go to App Launcher, and then click on View All, and here we can see multiple applications like a sales application, service, marketing, community, the Salesforce charter. These are all the predefined or standard applications developed by Salesforce. If you want to use a Salesforce application to maintain your sales process, then we can use this sales application. We can use the existing sales application and we can also make some changes as per our requirement, and then we can utilize that application. And if you want to use the Salesforce to maintain your marketing strategy, then we can use a marketing cloud application, and we can build our own functionality or we can use a existing functionality. And same if you want to use a Salesforce to maintain your support process, customer center support process, then we can use a service application. Like that, the Salesforce already implemented a couple of applications based on the market trends, okay, sales, marketing, and service. And there are so many other applications also there in Salesforce, but we have to buy them, those features and applications. These are all standard. But if you want to build a new application as per our business, if you want to build our own application, then how can we build that own application? So today class, I will show you how to build the custom application. Custom means created by us. Standard means created by Salesforce. Now I will show you how to build the custom applications in Salesforce. So for this, what I will do is I will explain with a general example for your understanding what exactly the application. So I want to build an application to maintain the transportation process. What is this transportation process, right? For example, we are manufacturing some furniture products, okay? And we are manufacturing these furniture products for corporate companies, not for individual customers. We are only manufacturing the furniture for corporate bulk orders. We will get the bulk order from the corporate company and we will do the manufacturing, and then we will sell those products to corporate companies. We have a manufacturing units in multiple cities in India, like in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi. In different cities, we have manufacturing units. But we don't have our own transportation. We don't have. Okay, we will take the order from the customer and we will manufacture the product, and then we will hand over the product to third-party transporters like a Blue Dot and Ecom Express, Delivery, right? So for them, we will hand over the product. They will deliver our product to the customer location. Okay, so to maintain this process, I want to build a small application in Salesforce, transport application. Transport application. And once the application is created, then we can store the data, like we can store the customer's data, and we can store the transporter's data, and we can store the delivery information also. All the data we can store in that transport application. First, let's see how to create the transport application in Salesforce. Okay, so if you want to create a new application in Lightning, first you have to click on this gear symbol, and then you have to click on the setup, then the sidebar will open. In this sidebar, scroll down to the platform tools, and then expand this apps, and then click on app manager. Click on this app manager, and then click on new Lightning app. Okay, these are all the existing applications available in both classic environment and in Lightning environment. Okay, but if you want to create a new Lightning application, click on this new Lightning app, and here we have to enter the details of that Lightning app. Okay, first enter the application label. What is the name of our application? So for example, it's a transport application. Transport application. Once we enter the label, this developer name will generate automatically. So not only here, if you are creating any component in Salesforce, once we enter the label, this developer name, or also call it as API name, this name will generate automatically. What is the use of this API names, right? API means application programming interface. Application programming interface. So what is the use of this API names, right? If you want to use this component in any backend programs, like in Apex programs or validation rules, formula fields, anywhere, if you want to use this component in any backend coding or programming, then we have to use the API name, because the Salesforce platform can understand only API names. It doesn't understand the labels. Label is only for front-end purpose. The users can see this label. But these API names are for back-end purpose. Okay? And now for this application, if you want to use any logo or image, generally we can upload our company logo. So if we click on upload, and you can choose any logo. For example, I am choosing this logo. See, it's uploaded here. It's uploaded. And then next. And here we have to select the standard navigation or console navigation. These are the two types of applications available in Salesforce. Okay. So, but in real time, most of the users will use console navigations, because in console navigations, the user can access the data or operate the records quickly. We can quickly access the data. Here also we have two types of applications. For example, if you go to that app launcher, and view all, and see here we have sales application as well as sales console application. Both applications are same, but a way of operating is different. Same here we have a service application and service console application. The navigation is different. For example, see, if you go to sales application, all the tabs, relevant tabs are displaying in this tab section one by one. Okay, and if you open any tab, for example, if you go to opportunities and select all opportunities list view, then it will show us all the records in this object. Whatever data is there in this object, it will show us. And if I open a record, it's opened. Now I can read the data in this record. If I want to open another record without closing this record, here it's not possible. In standard navigation application, it's not possible. We can't operate multiple records in the same screen in this standard navigation application. But in console navigation application, it's possible. In console navigation application, we can operate multiple records in single screen. Okay, so if you go to app launcher and select sales console, if you select the sales console, all the tabs will display in a drop down. See, this is the drop down and all the tabs are displaying here. In standard navigation application, all tabs will display in this tab section, but here it is showing in a drop down. Okay, so leads, accounts, contacts, opportunities, like that. If you go to any one tab, for example, if you go to, for example, opportunities, and if you open this record, see the record opened as a separate tab here. And if you want to open another record, if you go back to select another record, all opportunities, and if you click on another opportunity, it will automatically open as a separate tab here. We can operate both records. See, we can operate both records and we can open multiple records also in multiple tabs. And we can open sub tabs also. Here, if you click on this link record, account name, it will automatically open as a sub tab. Okay, so like that, in this console application, we can quickly access the data and we can quickly operate the records by using console navigation. That's why in real time, most of the users, business users, will use console navigation application. But for now, I want to use this standard navigation application. And then supported form factors means from which device the users can access this new application. We can access the Salesforce from desktop applications, from laptops and our desktops. And also there is a mobile application. Salesforce mobile application is also there. Now, when I'm creating a new application, I have to decide from which device the users can access this new application, like desktop and phone, from both the devices. Okay, and then the setup experience, you can choose setup only. Like I want to have a full settings. Service setup means the settings only related to Service Cloud. Okay, and next one is just click on next. And here, forget about these utility items because it's a very big concept, but you can't understand now even if I explain this utility items. This is the shortcuts. Shortcuts means if you want to quickly operate any application, we can open them. Okay, but skip this utility items for now and then click on next. And here we have to select the tabs. What are the tabs you want to display in this new application? Okay, so for example, I want to display home tab. Select home and add, and then accounts, select add, and then contacts, select add, and like that, whatever tabs you want to display on this application, you can add them. Okay, and dashboards. These are all the existing tabs available in Salesforce. You can just select and add them to this application. Okay, and then click on next. And here, while creating application itself, we have to decide to whom we have to display this application. We have to select to whom we have to display this application. Yesterday, while discussing about the profile, I explained about custom application security, right? To whom we have to display custom applications. Same here also. While creating a new application itself, we can select the profiles to whom we have to display this new application. For example, I want to select it for a sales manager. Yesterday, we created sales manager profile, right? So for that profile users and system administrator. If you are creating any new component, we must enable the visibility to system administrator. Okay, add it. And then save and finish. See, a new application created, and this is a transport application. Here we can see at the bottom. And now if you go to app launcher and click on view all, and here also we can see the transport application. This is the new application created by us. Okay, if we click on this transport application, and it will show us the logo, whatever we uploaded, and it will show us all the tabs like accounts, contacts, reports, dashboards. This is the way of creating custom application in Salesforce in Lightning environment. After create the application, then we have to create the objects. What is this object, right? Storage area. If you want to store the data in Salesforce, we can create the objects. We can use objects. See here, account is also one object. Contact also one object, where we can store the all our customers' data and customers' contact information. Same as I want to create one object called customer to store all our customers' data. I don't want to use the standard objects. Okay, I want to create my own customer object to store all our customers' information. Customers' information means like customer name, customer contact number, customer email address, residential address, billing address, shipping address. Like that, I want to store a customer information. So what I have to do is I have to create one custom object to store the customer data. So if you want to create a custom object, the navigation is go to setup and click on setup, and then go to object manager. Okay, so with the help of this object manager, we can see all the list of objects available in Salesforce. All are standard objects. See, all are standard. Standard means created by Salesforce. Now we can quickly create a couple of objects in this transport application. So go to create and custom object and enter the label of the custom object is customer, and then pure label is customers. And then if you have any description, enter the description here. And then context sensitive help settings, use open the standard salesforce.com help and training window. This is for classic environment, not in Lightning environment. As currently we are using Lightning environment, so no need to discuss about this part. This is only for classic. And the next one is record name. Record name is very important. Okay, if you are creating any object, along with the object we must create one primary field or record name field. What is the use of this record name? Let me explain with a small spreadsheet. Okay, this is one Excel sheet. Okay, and here we have customers information like customer name, customer email address, customer mobile, customer billing address, shipping address. This is one table. Okay, in this table we have around 5 customers data, totally 5 customers data. So in this table, which is the primary field? Which is the primary field? That is customer name. Customer name is the primary field, because in this table, if there is no customer name, then there is no meaning of this data. There is no meaning. There is no meaning for this data. What is this email? What is this mobile number? What is this address? There is no meaning for this data because there is no primary data. If you place that back, customer name, now we can say this is customer 1 email address. This is customer 1 mobile number. This is customer 1 billing address. So the remaining data depends on this customer name. And if you have multiple tables, for example, we have another table called transporter information or another table called delivery information. In delivery information, we have to use this customer name to whom we are delivering the product. So if you want to use the data from one object to another object, then also we can use this primary field. This primary field also call it as record name field. Here we can use a customer name or we can also use customer ID. We can also use customer ID. If there is a unique ID for every customer, we can also use customer ID, either customer name or customer ID. So here, while creating an object, the record name is auto-populated to customer name. If it is a name, then the data type must be text. And if you want to use ID, then we have to use customer ID here. If you are using customer ID, then the data type must be auto number. Auto number is one of the special data type in Salesforce. And while creating this auto number field, we have to give the format, like how we need to display that delivery customer ID. For example, the format is CUS 00000 and starting number is 1. That means if I create a new record in this customer object, for the first record, it will display like CUS 00001. For second record, the number will increment automatically. That means this customer ID will generate automatically for every new record. It will increment automatically. For second record, it will display CUS 00002. Like that, for every record, this number will increase automatically. But now I want to use the customer name. So customer name, and so I'm selecting text as a data type. And then these are all the optional features, like if you want to prepare a reports, if you want to create the reports and dashboards on this customer data, okay, then we must enable this allow reports checkbox. It is a feature. And then if you want to allow the users to create the tasks and events related to this particular customer. For example, if you go to accounts, in account object, we are storing a customer company information. Okay. For example, this Edge Communication is one of the company, and for this company, we are selling our products. And today, our sales representative went to this company, okay, this Edge Communications, and they discussed about further sales process. And next week also there is a one meeting with this customer. Then what we have to do, we have to create a new event, because next week we have a meeting with this customer. So we have to create a new event, and then we have to send that event details to Edge Communications. And for example, tomorrow our sales rep needs to be called to the customer, the Edge Communication, to discuss about the further process. Okay, so we can create a new task and then we can assign to that sales representative. Okay, so these are the activities. So if you want to use the same activity functionality in our customer object, then we must enable this allow activities. And then track field history. Like if you want to track the fields, who is for example, in every object we have multiple fields. For example, in this account object, we have so many fields. These are all fields: account name, parent account number, account site, phone, and fax, website, all are fields. If you want to track who are modifying the data in those fields, any specific field, then the track field history must be enabled. Then only we can able to track the field history, who last modified that data. For example, if I want to track who last modified this SIC code. So the field history must be enabled, then only we can able to track the fields on that object. And next one is allow in charter groups, means if you want to post the data in charter application, every record have a charter. See, in this account also here we have a charter. If you want to post any messages related to this particular record, we can post the messages. While posting, you can also specify this record information in the charter groups. So enable the checkbox. These are the optional features, and anytime we can enable or disable these features. And next one is object classifications. These all the classifications must be enabled for all the objects. Here, allow sharing, allow bulk API access, and allow streaming API access. APIs are, we will use APIs to integrate the Salesforce application to third-party applications. If any third-party application wants to access the data from Salesforce, then we will use these APIs. And if you want to allow the APIs to access the data from this customer object, then these object classifications must be enabled. And next one is deployment status. So always it must be deployed, because in real time we will use different types of sandboxes and productions. Sandbox is a development and testing environment. All the developers and testers will use the sandbox environment, and once the functionality is working as expected, then we will move the functionality to production environment, live environment. So if you want to move from sandbox to production, then this deployment status must be deployed. And then allow search. So if you want to allow the users to search the data of the record using this global search, for example, I have this account number. I have only account number. I want to open that account record. Then if I search that account number here, search, it's showing account record. If I click on this account record, then account record will open. So by using this global search, we can search the data. Same, if you want to allow the users to search the customer object data using this global search, then enable this allow search checkbox. And last two options we have while creating an object. These two options available only at the time of object creation. Okay, after create this object, then we can't see these two options here. The first one is add nodes and attachment related list to the default page layout. That means, for example, if you go to the account and here go to related list, this is the related tab. Okay, and here we have multiple related lists. Here there is one related list called nodes and attachments. That means related to this particular record, if you want to upload any files, images, documents, then we can use this nodes and attachments. Same thing for my customer object also, I want to use this nodes and attachment related list. So that in future, if I want to upload any files or documents or attachments, I can upload. Then the last one is launch new custom tab wizard after saving this custom object. That means along with the object, if you want to create a tab, then we must enable this checkbox. And once we click on this checkbox and then click on save, it will go to tab creation page. Here we can create the tab. So click on this tab style and then select any one of the tab. For example, I am selecting this computer tab, any tab, it is your wish. And then click on next. And here to whom we have to display tab. For example, so these are all tabs: home tab, account tab, contact tab, report tab, dashboards. These are all tabs. Now we are creating a new tab for our customer object. So to whom we have to display that tab. So here we have to select the profiles. Right now it's a default on for all profiles. Everybody can see this tab in their tab section. Okay, then next. Under which application you want to display this tab? We have so many applications, right? We have sales application, service application, marketing cloud application, transport application, so many applications are there. But in which application you want to use this customer tab? We are creating this customer tab for only transport application. So here we need to select only transport application. It is not relevant for any other applications. It is only for transport application. To select transport here, the last one, transport application. Then save it. See, a new object created. This is the customer object. An API name also generated. I already explained, right? API means application programming interface. This is the API name, customer _C. It's generated automatically. _C. C means custom. If there is no _C, that means that is a standard component. So we have to use this API names in programming because Salesforce platform can only understand the API names. Now if you go to transport application and refresh this page, see customer tab created. Now if you click on this customer tab and then click on new, if you want to insert new record into this object, if you want to store the customer data, click on new. See, this is the customer page layout created along with the object. And here we have only one field, that is a customer name field. This is the record name field created along with the object. And this is mandatory field. See, red star is displaying. Red star means mandatory or required. And owner is a common field, and currency also common field for all objects because we enabled multi-currency in our administration classes, right? While discussing about the company information, we enabled multi-currency. That's why this currency field is displaying by default. So object created. The same way, I want to create a remaining two objects. So this object is to store the customer data. Same way, I need another object to store the transporter's information. And then another object to store the delivery information, like that. Okay, so now let me show you how to create other objects as well. So go to setup or click on object manager. And then click on create new custom object. Okay, and then enter the label of that object. So label is, for example, the next object name is transporter and plural label is transporters. And then same, whatever we discussed, all options are same. And then record name, field name is a transporter name, data type is text, and enable all these optional features. And then deployment status is deployed and search status is allow search, and enable all these options. These are common for all objects. Then click on save. And then select any one tab style. And then next, and enable this tab visibility to all the profile users. Next, and I want to display this transporter tab also under only transport application. Then save it. It's created. Okay, now if you go to this transport application and reload this page, now we can see the transporters tab here. If we click on this transporters and then click on new, and here we can see only one field, that is transporter name. It's a mandatory field. Okay, same as I want to create one more field, that is delivery information field. So our delivery object. So in that delivery object, we have to store the delivery information. So to whom which customer we are delivering the product, and which transporter is going to deliver the product to that customer. So go to that object manager again and click on new custom object, and then enter the, for example, delivery information. This is the object name, and the plural label also same, delivery information. And then here, instead of delivery information name, delivery record doesn't have any names. Generally we will use a delivery ID, right? Delivery ID, reference ID, tracking ID, like that. So now here I want to use a ID, delivery ID. If you are going to use the ID, then the data type must be used auto number. Okay, and then here we have to enter the format is, for example, DID 00000, and starting number is 1, and enable all these optional features, and then all these features allow search, and enable launch new custom tab wizard, also save it, and select any one tab style. Then next, And next, same options. Okay, you can quickly create. Once you understand all the options, then you can quickly create multiple objects, multiple tabs, and select the only transport application and save it. Another object also created. Now come to here and refresh this page. Okay, another tab also created, transporters and delivery information. Now if you go to delivery information and click on new, see, this is the delivery information page layout, and only delivery ID is there. But this ID will generate automatically once we save it. Once you create a record, this delivery ID will generate automatically. Like that, in this developer edition, we can create up to 400 custom objects. We can create 400 custom objects if you want. Understand? Any questions, anyone? You can post the questions there. And next, I want to show you, actually tomorrow we can start the discussion on this custom phase, but I think 1 hour is not enough to discuss tomorrow concepts. So today we can discuss a couple of things, and tomorrow I will explain remaining part. Okay. So we created objects here, right? Customer object to store the customer data, and transporter object to store the transporter's information, and delivery object to store the delivery information, right? But as of now, in these objects, we have only one field. Like for example, if you go to customer, click on new, and here we have only one field, that is customer name field. But my requirement is I want to store the customer mobile number, contact number, and billing address, shipping address. These are the common details we need to deliver a product to customer. At least we need a contact number and shipping address. Billing address is also not mandatory, but shipping address is mandatory. So if you want to store the data, we must have the relevant fields on this object. So go to this customer object, go to deliver object manager and search for customer object. Customer. Click on customer and then click on fields and relationships. Here we can see all the list of existing fields. So here customer name field created along with the object. Other than this customer name, the created by, currency, last modified by, and owner or common fields for all objects. If you create any new object, these all the fields are common. Now here, click on new to create a new field. Click on new. And then these are all the data types. These are all the different data types available to create the custom fields. Like the formula data type, auto number we discussed, right? And formula means if you perform any simple calculations in Salesforce, or if you want to get the data from one object to another object, then we can use this formula. And roll-up summary means if you want to perform any aggregation operations like a count, sum, minimum, and maximum, then we can use this roll-up summary. And these are all relationships. We can discuss in next class about the relationships. And remaining, these are all data types like a checkbox data type. Checkbox means true or false. And currency, like if you want to store any price values, amount values, then we can use a currency data type. And then date and time. Date means we can only store the date value like a month and date and year. And then date and time means we can also store the hours, minutes, and seconds. And then email. So if you want to store the email addresses, we can use the email data type. Geolocation to store the latitude and longitude. Okay, and number, these are all common data types. You can easily understand by seeing the names here. So now I want to store the mobile number of the customer. So here we can use phone data type, and then click on next. And here enter the field label. The field label is customer mobile. And then if you have any description or help text, enter the details, but these are all optional. For example, help text means same like this icon. If I place the cursor on this icon, see it is showing small text here. With the help of this text, we can understand what is the use of this field, what data we have to enter here. The same, if you want to display any help text for the users, okay. So for example, please enter permanent or personal mobile number. Okay, like that you can display small text so that users, if they don't understand what kind of data they have to enter, if they place the cursor on the help text, it will show them the text. And then if you want to make this field as a mandatory field on customer object, that means if anybody wants to create a customer record, they must have to enter the customer, the mobile number, otherwise they can't create. So we can enable the checkbox here. And then next, and this field visibility, we are creating field. Yesterday we discussed about the field level security. How can we control the field level security using profiles, right? Same thing here, we are creating a new field. Then to whom we have to display this field? There are so many profiles, right? But it is a mandatory field. The mandatory fields must be visible and must be editable for all the profile users. That's why it is enabled automatically for all the profiles. We can't remove the visibility because it's mandatory field. Then next. And then I want to display this customer mobile field on customer layout, this page layout. This is the customer page layout, right? Here I want to display. So it's enabled automatically. Now click on save and new because I want to create one more field. So click on save and new. The next field is billing address. I want to store the billing address of the customer. So scroll down and here we can use a text data type. Billing address means address may have the numbers and characters and special characters like that, right? So this text data type can allow all the types of data. It can allow the digits and characters and special characters, everything. So we can use text data type, but here we have multiple text data types. First one is text. This is a normal text field, same like this. Customer name is also text field. We can enter the data only in single line, only single line. But address we have to enter in multiple lines, right? First line we have to enter a street address, and second line we have to enter the city name, third line we have to enter the state name, and fourth line we have to enter our country name, like that. So we can't use this text. And next one is text area. In this text area, we can enter data in multiple lines, and limit of this field is 255 characters. We can enter up to 255 characters only. And then text area long is, it is also a very big field, but we can enter up to 1,31,072 characters in this text area long field. It's a very big field. If you want to store the paragraphs information, we can use this field. It is a plain text field. We can only enter the text. We can't do the formatting. But if you want to enter the text and if you want to do some formatting for the text, like if you want to increase the text size, or if you want to change the text color, or if you want to insert any images, then we can go with the text area rich. The size of this text area long and text area rich both are same, but the text area rich is a rich text format, like you can do the formatting for your text. So now I want to use the text area data type to store the address information, because 255 characters is enough to store the address information. So select text area, then next, and enter the field label is billing address and make it mandatory. Okay, and then next, and next, save and new, because I want to create one more field, that is shipping address. Same as billing address, we can use a text area data type for shipping address also. Then next, shipping address, and make it optional, not mandatory. Okay, next. Now here we have to enable the visibility, because this is optional field, so it is our wish to whom we have to display. If it is mandatory field, then we can't select the visibility, it will enable automatically. But if it is optional field, we have to enable the visibility to profiles. Okay, then next, and then save it. So I created 3 fields: customer mobile, billing address, shipping address. For every field, API names are generated. So this is the billing address API name, and this is the customer mobile API name, and this is the shipping address field API name. We have to use these API names in our backend programs. Now go to this customer tab and refresh this page. You must refresh. Sometimes the pages will not reflect immediately. You have to refresh the page multiple times. Refresh it again. Now let's see whether the page reflected or not with the new fields. Click on new. See, new fields added. Customer name, customer mobile number, and billing address, shipping address. Okay, now here we can enter the data like customer name, for example, IBM India Private Limited. This is the customer name. And enter mobile number. Okay, and then enter the billing address, for example, Mindspace. This one. Okay, and copy this address and paste as shipping address as well. See, we're able to enter the data in multiple lines. Okay, because this is text area field. In text field, we can enter the data only in single line, but here we can enter the data in multiple lines. Now, if we click on save, see, new record created. New record created in this customer object. Like that, we can store all our customers' information. We can create many fields. I created only 4 fields, right? But we can create many fields. We can create 200 fields or 300 fields for every object, depending upon the requirement. So tomorrow I will show you to create a couple of other data type fields like pick list field and multi-select pick list field, field dependency. Okay, like that I will explain a few more data type fields in tomorrow class. And tomorrow we can discuss about all the field data types and the dependent pick list and global pick list and how to customize the page layouts. This is on page layout, right? If I want to change the order of the page fields, for example, I want to display billing address here below the currency. How can we change that? How can we move fields from one location to another location? So that we can discuss on tomorrow session. Fine. Any questions? Anyone? Please post your questions in the chat box.
One question, Abhilash.
Yeah.
Sir, we can create a single object for multiple users.
Yeah, we can. See, object is not for a specific user. We can create object for application and then we can enable the visibility of that object to any user by using profiles. It is not specific to any a single user.
Can we create a record for your object, but that object doesn't has a tab?
Yeah, we can create by using a data loader tool. There is one tool called data loader. By using data loader tool, we can insert the data into any object. Tab is not required. Tab is not required, but we can insert the data using data loader. And by using programming also, we can insert the record to that object without tab. Okay, by using some backend components, we can do. Tab is only for front end. From front end, if you want to insert the data into that object, we need a tab. But from back end also, we can insert the data by using programming or data loader tool or from external data or tools, we can also insert the data.
And another question that can we create objects for default applications?
Yeah, we can create. So default applications means these are all the predefined applications, say service, marketing, community, right? We can create. We can create object and we can use them for default applications also. It's possible.
Yeah, in Trailhead there are 880 modules. So can we specifically select any modules for developer role?
You have to select that, right? If you go to the Trailhead platform and go to official Trailhead site, and Here you have to select the modules based upon your role. Okay, and for example, here if I select developer role, okay, and if you want to learn from basics, you can select beginner. Okay, and it will show you all the modules related to development. Okay, so here 138 modules for development. These are all development related modules. And even if you can search in Google also, which trailhead modules we have to learn for the developer, you will get so many results here. Okay, so see, journey from beginner to advanced developer. So here it will guide you on which are the modules you have to practice. See, developer beginner, visual force basics, app development without limitations. These are all the modules you have to practice to become a developer. Okay, and even if you go to the trial mixes, here we can see so many trial mixes. Like for example, see, getting started with trial head, and get your company started with trial head. So many modules we have. Okay, so you can also practice these trial mixes. It will guide you. These trial mixes will guide you which modules you have to practice to become administrator, to become a developer, to become a Salesforce, a business analyst, tester. Okay, these trial mixes will help you. Okay, any other questions? Somebody is asking about the difference between role and profile, right? I explained already about this difference. See, role means if you want to control the data security, we can use a role. Profile is to maintain the application security, tab security, object level security. For that, we can use a profile. What data you want to see, that we can control by role, and which objects you want to see, which tabs you want to see, which applications you want to see, that we can control with the help of profile.
And you said, Abhilash, that we can create single object for multiple applications, right?
Yes,
So that Naresh was asking, how can we create? He was asking
see,
that.
that's what, right? While creating object, we are giving the application visibility. For example, let me quickly show you how creating an object. If we go to see custom object, and for example, test object, object name is test object, and here if you enable tab visibility, then click on save and select any one tab, then next, and click on next. See, in this space here, these are all applications, all the default applications, and including our custom application also. Now I am creating a test object. If I want to use this test object for all these default applications and my transport application, select here. For whatever applications you want to use, you can select. We can use one object for multiple applications. See here, almost more than 20 applications are there. If you select all and then click on save, if you go to any application, you will see this test object tab. Like if you go to sales application, and here we can see test object. And if you go to a service application, then we can see test object. If you go to marketing application, then here also we can see test object, right? So one object can be used for multiple applications. Okay, next time. Any other questions?
So the of tab style.
Sorry.
What is the need of tab style,
Tab
something.
style is just for a symbol, okay, to differentiate the different records, right? For example, if you go to our transport application, okay, if you go to customer, this is a symbol just for identification only. This is customer symbol. Then if you go to transporters, it will display another symbol here. This is based upon the tab style, just for identification only. There is no any specific reason for it, but just for identification.
Okay. Hmm. Sir, can we link it these Salesforce with cloud services?
This is this cloud application. Then why we have to link with cloud services? Salesforce is a cloud application. But if you want to link this Salesforce application with another cloud computing application, we can integrate. We can integrate the Salesforce applications with any on-premises environment or cloud computing environments, any other applications also.
Yeah. So what about workflows? Banu was asking that.
That is not part of this concept because in Salesforce there are so many concepts. So we can't discuss all the concepts in this 7 days workshop. So we are discussing about the foundational concepts only. Workflow rules are there, process builders are there, approval process is there, reports and dashboards. Many concepts are there. But in last class, I will show you what are the concepts you need to practice. Okay, and if you can practice those, then yourself you can able to try for jobs. I will show you list of the concepts you need to practice in last class. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's all about the questions. So yeah, we are running out of the time. We'll meet
Yeah.
tomorrow. So guys,
Okay.
I hope we answered all the questions. So if anybody was not given the feedback, just give the feedback. So yeah, that's all from our end. We'll meet tomorrow at 5 to 6. That's all, Abhilash. Anything want to say?
That's fine, Haripriya. Thank you
Yeah.
guys, and we will meet on tomorrow session.
Yeah, so we'll meet on tomorrow, and still we are having another 2 sessions tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Sunday is the last session. So yeah, so thank you for attending this program. So we'll meet tomorrow. Bye bye. Have a nice